bang average performance that was last night by Arsenal. Couldn't believe what I was seeing, especially in the second half. Right, if you hear a dog barking, I'm sorry. Right, let's get into it. The first half we had 80% possession. That was mostly with the defence and midfield. Midfielders didn't really create any chances, especially for Eddie. And we had 80% possession. Kai Havertz had some good runs. He was unlucky with some touches and shooting opportunities, but at the end of the day, he could be a bright spark, and you could say had a quite good game, but that ain't good enough for a £65 million signing. Where do I start? We didn't really create. So in the first half, then Jarrod Bowen gets a corner, swings it in. Ben White heads it into his own goal. I think he was trying to head it wide or over the bar. There was no VAR in this game. They might have got involved because Souček was putting on Ramsdale's shirt, but we never know if it would have been given or even if Ramsdale would have saved it if he hadn't been impeded. But can't blame Ramsdale for that goal. What's the rest to say? Bang average performance, I thought. And I'm going to go into player ratings and say a little bit about them. I've just said about Ramsdale's performance. I'm going to score him a 5. I don't really think he was at fault with any of the goals. It was a slight deflection the third, but he maybe could have saved it, but he wasn't to blame for any of the 3 goals really when you look at it. So I'm going to give him a 5. Ben White scored an own goal. Didn't really support the Reiss Nelson on the right hand side. So he's going to get a poor game from Benjamin White. So I'm going to give him a 4. Kiwior actually was one of the bright spots, I thought, for me. I thought he defended quite well. Looked good, especially on the ball. Remember the few times he might have been under pressure and come out well with it. So I'm going to give Kiwior a 6. Gabriel did all right, but he was at fault for one of the goals, especially when he didn't close down the second goal. It was not acceptable. Didn't close him down. Just had his arms behind his back, and Zinchenko got done, and then it went through Gabriel's legs. So I'm giving Gabriel a 5. Alright, Zinchenko. I think he's been pretty poor the last few games he's been selected, and I'm going to score him a 3. I think he was a little bit worse than Ben White. He was at fault for the second goal. When he went into midfield, he had sometimes good possession, but he mislaid passes and he got hooked off. So even Mikel Arteta notices that his performances are below par. So that's Zinchenko. Going into the midfield, Jorginho, I'll give him a 5. He passed the ball, moved it on well. That's why, especially in the first half, that's why we had all the possession. But didn't do anything outstanding. But didn't do anything really at fault for any of the goals. So I'm going to give him a 5. Vieira, 5-2. He got knocked off the ball a little bit too easily. He was over when he'd done a few chip balls and like through balls, he overhit them, and that's why I'm giving him a 5. For me, that's bang average scoring. Kai Havertz, like I said, was good in the game in the first half, but good isn't good enough. So in the end, he was another average player, giving him a 5. Going on to top 3, Trossard, I think he had a really poor game, and he was one of the people that got hooked off, so he gets a 4. On the right hand side, Reiss Nelson looked lively in the first half, but I give him a 5 as well. And Eddie Nketiah had no people look at it, he had no shots on target, but the midfield did not create a single chance apart from the Reiss Nelson cutback where in the first half where Eddie tried to get on the end of it but couldn't in the 6-yard box. So I'm going to give Eddie a 5. Subs that come on, I didn't think Rice should have come on, Saka, Odegaard or Martinelli before the St James's Park game, because if they were unlucky enough to get an injury, we would have been screwed. So and I'm going to give them all a 5 apart from Tomiyasu, who I'm going to give a 6 to. And Odegaard, I'm going to give a 6 because he was lively, created stuff, and he did get a goal. But in the end, a really bad performance by Arsenal. So there we go. If we play like that, anything like that at St James's Park, we're going to get battered. So good training before St James's Park, please, lads. No player deserves on that pitch to be moaning about being left out when we go up to St James's Park. So I think there'd be a few changes, and Mikel Arteta, come on, do the job. It's a must-win game at St James's Park against Newcastle. We must beat them Geordies. Come on here, Arsenal. Got to do better than that. Come on, rid of me, rid of me, rid of me.